What's up, y'all? You know, the great Oregon meat right here. Oregon meat back at you. You know, I was watching more of that video from Crimson Cure, and then she had a specific chapter, her presentation about why black women don't get any better, and then fucking why black women don't get any better, and then well, you know, I paused it there because I already know the answer, so I'm going to make my own video response to what her answer could possibly be. All right. She was mentioning why black women don't get any better, when actually it's why wayward women don't get any better. Because there's a certain percentage of black women that don't have these problems, and I don't want us to focus solely on those black women. Well, I do. I want us to focus on those black women only. What I'm saying is I don't want us to conflagrate or conflate these behaviors with all black women. All black women are going to get the stigma of being wayward and reckless. They're going to get the stigma of being wayward and reckless, but all black women are not going to be wayward and egocentric. Now, the reason is, I'm see if I can keep this short. I'm trying to keep this one under 10 minutes because, you know, some of you guys make videos too damn long. The lead attorney, I'm referring to you. Come on, bro. Your videos be 3.5 hours at the short end and 8 hours at the long end. Ain't nobody got time for that. But anyway, why, in response to the Crimson Cure, why black women don't get any better? Because, you know, can't tell them nothing. You got a population of women here, you literally can't tell anything. All right? Women can't, elder women can't steer them in a direction because, you know, they'll get hostile with the older women, and the women don't want to deal with all that animosity and aggravation. It's the same reason why no man can tell her. All right? No man can tell her anything because it's just basically, it's the same thing. She's going to get headstrong and she want to argue with the man and then fight the man like somebody told her that was a good idea. You know, under some false concept that if I hit him, he's not supposed to hit me back. But if you hit that man and he gollywomp your ass down the street, that was on you. You see? All right? Now, all of this stuff is called accountability. And it leads up to a phrase called, that's on you. That's on you. All right? The reason why these women don't get any better, because no one can tell them what they're doing is wrong. But a lot of women, everyone is telling them what they're doing is right. Go ahead and express yourself, girl. Live your own truth. You know, no one can judge you. That's some bullshit. Everybody can judge you. And this is what they're doing. Everybody is judging you. Now, as a single woman, you know, this is just your cross to bear alone. But if you're a single mom, you got to understand, you are inflicting all of these interpretations about your persona onto your children. But a lot of these women don't really care. They're that egocentric and selfish that they don't really care about their children. They only care about themselves and how they feel, FEEL, in the moment. So the reason you can't tell these women anything, they don't get any better, is because you can't tell them anything. That's the only reason they got to be this way in the first place. Because no one could tell them anything. And then they'd see some other person on pop culture or in the media doing some wayward behavior and getting congratulated for it. They got entire TV shows about girls acting stupid. And somehow these girls never think that they're going to grow old. They never think that other people, especially in this time of the internet, that people can have access to all of these images. So now they're going to be out here with all of these images about themselves, or all of these things that they've done to make themselves a person that you couldn't attract a high value man in the least. You see, what you could do is you can get his attention briefly, but in the long term, you couldn't get his attention at all. You couldn't retain it because there's not enough about you that, you know, that he wants to build with. And also whoever it is that you came to him with, he starts to think that, well, this woman is a monster, man. You know, she's a reflection on me. If we get around people that I respect and I admire and I'd like to build businesses with and relationships with, and she come out her face all crazy, that's a bad judgment on me. Now, mind you, that last sentence I said, that applies to women too. And what I have found is that applies to really successful career women, because they don't know how to pick a companion at all. So they use all of these markers that don't make sense for a woman of her age and status. I went to school with a woman. I was dating her in college, and then this Facebook thing was new, so we all get on Facebook looking up people that we used to know. This woman is now a lawyer with the state of New York. She works for one of them agencies, and then she's going on and telling me about her boyfriend, and I'm like, this guy's a loser. This guy's losing. His losing brand is so strong, you could put that sucker on the New York Stock Exchange, because he got all the shares. She was explaining his life story, and I'm like, this dude is a loser, man. He's a loser. Why are you associating yourself in your prestigious career and position with a loser? Now, at that point, she stopped talking to me because I was being too critical of her choice. But see, if you a friend to somebody, even if you used to see them in the past, you're supposed to pull their ear on that. All right? If you see one of your homies, he out here and he looking bad, you're supposed to pull his card, bro. What's up with you, man? You look bad, bro. You should be balling in your state, at this state and day and time in your life. What's going on? That's what a friend would do. If you a sycophant or you don't really care about these people in your pool or in your arena, in your circumference, in your environment, then you just you observe what the person says, and then when they leave, you just go talk shit about them. I can't believe she came here with that bum ass nigga. Can you believe that? Man, you hear that story she was talking about this dude? This dude was gangster full of losing. Gangster full of losing. So my point is, a lot of women, they do that. You get these established careers. It was even with my homie Richard. Now, do you want to call Richard a bum ass nigga? Nah, but he fit the bill. If there was a bill and there was a description and it was on the back jacket, on the back cover of a book that sold at Barnes & Noble, bum ass nigga Tribune, yeah, he'd be there. So he met himself a babe down in Philadelphia. She was a doctor. Same thing. She put him on. And that woman was so desperate to have a man, she bought him a truck, because his truck was raggedy. So she went out and bought him a new truck. I remember that time too, because that's when Steve Harvey came out with that book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, and people was hating on Steve because you can't expose the game. He exposing the game. I'm like, well, if you a bum, man, I really wouldn't worry that much about it. Get your bum on. But anyway, so back to the original part was, you can't tell women anything. So I try to tell my friend that, your boyfriend is a bum. You can't tell him nothing, because it becomes a spiteful, rancorous, angry relationship. And I'm like, I'm telling you, because at some point you got to understand, when you go to your professional union, your meetings and your liaisons and all these alliances and associations that you go to, and you bring this man with you, this man does not shine good light on who it is you are as a person. He can't keep a conversation the way that you telling me. He just showing up and hanging out at the buffet table. And the only reason you picked him because his body was tight. It was firm, and he had six-pack and muscles and all of that. I mean, as a 40-year-old woman, that makes you stupid in the first place. That even at this time of your life, you don't even know what to look for in a man. You just looking for a physique. That's a dick in a jar. So now you expect your other colleagues to be envious that you brought this bum ass nigga with a built body and a hard dick to your association in your professional meetings. Nah, man, that's a bad look. You better off being alone. All right, and ladies, it is better to be alone. Now, I don't like that, because I know there's a culture that says that if you can't get what you want, it's better to have nothing. All right, and it sounds like I'm saying that, but what I'm really saying is, if your man is a bum, it is better for you to be alone than to bring that sucker around your professional colleagues. Because whatever level bum he is, that shit will exude out of him like that cheap suit that you put on him You know, he will sweat that shit out at your professional meetings or whatever seminars or conferences you go to. And, you know, you thinking people are envious of you because you got this very attractive man with six-pack and muscles and arms and legs and, you know, he got a killer dick and all of that. And they looking at you like, this bitch goofy. She done picked that nigga? Fuck out of here. You know? So, my point is, you know, women don't get any better. And mind you, in this example, this was not a black woman. This was a white woman. You know, this was a white woman with a fetish for black dick or ethnic dick. I'll make a video on that later on. But right now, the reason why women don't get better is because they're hard-headed. They won't listen to anybody. They got to live this shame firsthand and then come out here and then talk to an older woman, look her dead in her face and say, you don't know my life story. You don't know my life story. You don't know what I've been through. Well, tell me what you've been through. Tell me your life story. You know? And really what you're going to find is there's nothing special about your life story, just a bunch of bullshit that you internalized too much. There was a lot of shit that ain't had nothing to do with you. It had to do with your parents, so therefore it was grown folks' business, so you shouldn't have been in it anyway. And on the other hand, it's just you making bad decisions because the caliber to make the decision relied solely on you and how you feel. And maybe you should get away from how you feel and see what actually is. Make your decisions on what do you understand. All right, you can make a bad decision on what you understand, but you will always make a bad decision based on how you feel. You know, and the reason why the women don't get any better, because, you know, and a lot of people, they blame men, because men allowed this. Men, no, ain't no men allowed nothing, man. You got to have some power in the system to permit or unpermit, you know? You got to have some type of authority in the system to be a regulator, all right? If black men in this system have no authority to regulate behavior, then guess what? It won't get regulated. And if they find out that, hey, if I co-sign a lot of this raggedy behavior, this woman will do anything for me. She'll give me anything I want. She'll give me her body. She'll give me access to her fertility. She will give me children I don't even want. She will give me free sex. Oh, I could love that. She will give me her money. She will co-sign on a car. She will ruin her credit for me. She will invest in me. Matter of fact, she won't even call me on the bullshit behavior I do of the criminal nature. And even if I get jacked on those criminal charges, she'll still be there for me. She'll hit me up with some money for my commissary. She'll come see me at 200 miles away. You know, every other Sunday. She'll give me some conjugal visits, and she'll still be on she'll tattoo my name on her arm. So, you know, it's not men that mess this up, because men don't have the authority to regulate this. If men had authority to regulate it, we would have shut it down. What the women did was listen to the other women, and then they went out there and they threw their pussy all up and down the street. And that's another funny thing about Facebook. You get on Facebook and you look up them people you went to high school with, and you see them and all of this virtuous life and this, you know, this very respectable life that they live now. And you remember in high school, shit, you used to drag the streets with that pussy right there. You remember? You know? You used to walk your ass right down 3rd Avenue and throw that pussy on the fucking rope and hit. And any nigga that you hit with that pussy, he was getting laid that night. Now they come out here to be middle-aged women with no children because they got pelvic inflammatory disease from all them abortions and shit. They got all endometrial scarring and all that. They couldn't even carry a fucking ovum if you put one in them. All them raggedy hoes. But you had to be there. You moved to another city. Nobody knows that you was a super whore. You was fucking everything. Shit. You couldn't even walk through this park. Squirrels weren't even safe. Come out there, stuff them squirrels in your pussy, come on the other side of the park, motherfucker fur coat. You know? But anyway, the men the men don't want to deal with that, man. I mean, the men of means and got goals and they got common sense. They ain't gonna talk to them women because they already know what's gonna be. It's gonna be them getting in some argument with 2 or 3 wombats. Now, DJ Fishgrease, she calls them hyenas. You know, I call them wombats. You can call them whatever you want to, but you know, in the time of William Shakespeare, he called them a shrew. You know, that whole play, the Taming of the Shrew. SHREW, a shrew. That's what it was about. It was about an acerbic woman. You know, the Taming of the Shrew. That woman was a horrible person, and I guess a shrew was some type of boisterous rat, like a muskrat or something like that. I know it's a rat, a rodent of some sort. I think it's a rat, but it must be a rat that does something particular to get that name. But anyway, you call them wombats, and I call them wombats, and men are not going to engage themselves with wombats, bro. They're just not going to do it. Man, it's going to be like, look, I just, you know, my peace of mind is very important to me. So I am not going to participate with you in this whole thing by telling you what you're doing is wrong. Now, a lot of the older women don't want to do it because this might lead to a fight. So now this young girl, she wants to attack this older woman for telling her, you can't behave like that, girl. You can't do that. I mean, and the information has always been out there. If you remember the song by Betty Wright did a song in the 70s called Girls Can't Do What the Guys Can Do and Still Be a Lady. And she made a remake of that song before she died, like in the early 2000s. And then the Roots was playing, they was the backing band when she re-recorded the song. Now, Betty White got bars, man. She could flow. I mean, not a lot of older rap, not older R&B musicians can rap, but Betty White, she knew how to rap. Betty White knew how to rap, and Stevie Wonder knew how to rap. You know, so Betty Wright, you know, she did that song, Girls Can't Do What the Guys Do and Still Be a Lady, you know, and it was a funky tune, man. I think she recorded it in Florida with the same band that Gwen McCrae and George McCrae used, because it's got that Florida sound to it, that Miami sound, you know. I don't think it was Casey and the Sunshine Band, but it was definitely recorded in Miami, you know. But you know, a lot of the older women don't want to talk to the young girls because we might get into a fight. And older women, like, I ain't got time for that. My whooping ass days was in the 60s and the 50s, and you know, I'm too old for that. You know, I'm too old for that. I'm just trying to help your ass out. You coming out here looking bad, man. And the thing is, you should listen to some of the elders because they presumably would have been there. So the older woman that's talking to you, she might know, because she might have been dragging the streets with that pussy in the 70s. You know, she might have been the topic of that Gene Carnes song, Free Love. Don't be a slave to your passions. You know? Don't go on giving your body to just anyone. Find somebody who loves you, not just for your body. See? Gene Carnes got to be about 80 years old now. She made that song in the 70s. That was about 40-something years ago. So it ain't like, you know, you don't know my life story. Ain't like nothing's new. Ain't like nothing out here new. But the problem is, you just think you too smart to listen to good advice. And that's how these women get to be wayward and head-hearted and hard-headed. They won't listen to good advice because they know everything. So they got to live this turmoil and this frustration firsthand. All right? Black men are not turning their backs on women. They just decided, hey, man, I'm not investing my future with that person. No. Hey, man, they got black folks in Mexico. If I got to go to Mexico and meet me a black Mexican, I'm cool. Because for men are thinking about family. You know? I mean, the real virtuous, righteous men. The other dudes are just, you know, they just thinking about getting laid, but that's cool. But those are the dudes those are the guys that those women will be dealing with for a while. And when they expect more, they find out the men aren't prepared to deliver more. Well, I want a man that's prepared to deliver more. Well, you never position yourself to attract that man and maintain him. That's what I'm saying. And so, it's pretty much, if the women are hard-headed and won't listen to anybody, then they're determined to live this frustrating life out firsthand. Now, they can do that. Everybody's got the right to live their life the way they want to do. But the thing is, you're not going to drag that man down with you. You ain't going to drag me down with you. And if a lot of these people who are single moms, the minute your child becomes an adult and he figures this out too, he's going to be gone, man. You ain't taking me down with you. Now, a lot of these people who are single moms who have daughters, there's going to be a problem because all the daughters are going to learn to do is replicate that behavior. For the most part. And if they don't get away and get around another bunch of people who've got a different set of morals and a different set of beliefs and a different set of characteristics of behavior, then they're going to emulate whatever they've seen because they think that that's normal. And that's the reason why when these women they're single moms and they have children, that other parents don't want their children to hang out with those children. Because I don't want to subject my kids to those bad influences that I believe you to be as a person. So with that, I don't want to keep it going too long, because when these videos get too long, they take like a whole dang long time to upload. So this one is like 20 minutes or so. But anyway, that was just another response I had to the Crimson Cure DJ Fishgrease. I like her commentary, man. I really do. I like everybody's commentary. If I didn't, then I would probably make this a diss track against whoever it is, But no, I like everybody's commentary. It's just I'm trying to get this YouTube channel off the ground. Initially, it was only supposed to be about cars and automobiles, but I've been delayed with doing that stuff for so long. I decided, let me get into this manosphere, and then later on, I'll get back into the car stuff. As I get more equipment, I've been watching mediocre tutorials and reviews, and he's got that fly camera. I think I might want to go get me one of them cameras that he got, from Amazon or Walmart or something like that. Go get me one of the microphones too. But yeah, that was just a brief response to DJ Fishgrease, the Crimson Cure, about why black women, they don't get any better. And it's basically, they just won't listen to anyone. They will listen to no one but themselves. And like I said, this is not about black women. It's primarily about young women, or it's about hard-headed women, because I've met them in all demographics and ethnicities. It's about all young, modern, hard-headed women who believe whatever they believe for some reason, and they will only listen to other people who believe the same thing. So, what do you make of that?